Okay, the next thing I'm going to be speaking about is football terminology, the terminology that is used by pundits, that is used by commentators, that is used by people who just speak about the game. Now, very obviously, I'm going to say up front, another disclaimer, is that these people are not linguists, they are not poet laureates, they do not have PhDs in literature or in English or anything like that. I do understand that. However, these are media figures, and media figures should be held to a higher standard than they currently are. Most of these football terms are used as filler. They're actually pretty much content free, you know. They are used to make the things that you say sound better, to improve the aesthetic, the texture of what you're saying. And to a degree, I do understand that. But most of the terms I'm going to be speaking about are used so completely illogically that it completely undercuts the intention, which is to make them sound better and smarter, when really they just sound like idiots, because they're not using basic phrases with basic logic. Let me just start with the likes of. The likes of, as a term, has been falling into, very happily, has been falling into something of disuse recently. It was, about 10 years ago, it was impossible to see a football ad or to watch Football Today or Match of the Day or whatever it is and not hear the likes of being used. And every single time it was used, I would get so nervous because 90% of the time that it was used improperly. And what would happen is that people would say the likes of and then just give a complete list. And that is really my issue. Now, the likes of, in and of itself, as a phrase, is not problematic. The likes of means a type of person or a type of thing. She was not interested in going out with the likes of me. That is a very common example. She's not interested in going out with somebody who is similar to me, who is my type of person, myself included. She's just not interested in that. When it is used that way, that's fine. But it often is not. It almost never is used that way, in fact. It's often used to be the lead-in for a complete list. I remember, this is showing my age, but I remember the 2012 Champions League semi-final second leg against Barcelona, where we had won the first leg at home, and we were now traveling to the Camp Nou, and we were going to be playing against Barcelona. And I do remember the pundit, I can't remember which pundit it was, I imagine it was South African punditry, because at that point we didn't really have foreign punditry for big Champions League matches. The pundit said that Chelsea have to fear Barcelona and their players, the likes of, and then gave a complete list. It was Villa, it was Sanchez, it was Messi, it was Pedro, it was an entire list of players, all of the players that we could possibly be fearing. The way to interpret that, literally speaking, is this dude listed all of the dangerous players, and then the only possible logical inference from that is that we should then also fear the reserve players who are somewhat similar to those players, who are also Hispanic, or who are also from Brazil, or whatever. That's the only logical inference to make from that. And when the likes of is used to describe a complete list, or when the likes of is used to describe a type without actually describing the player in question, that is a problem for me. The next issue is at times. Now, at times has crept into the football lexicon fairly recently, only last sort of season and a half, and it is often used to describe a continuous thing. Now, I watched the Chelsea-West Ham match the other day, the match that we lost, and it was very sad that we lost it. But I was even more sad in the middle of the match when the commentator said that this Chelsea squad is better than the West Ham squad at times. Are you serious? The quality of a squad does not change from minute to minute. How the squad performs changes from minute to minute. And that is actually what you meant. And just because, oh, well, you understood what I meant, that's not an argument. If that is the argument that you're making, then you may as well just throw out the entire dictionary. More to the point, the commentary, the punditry, the general football media is being consumed by an entire global audience. And if you're making up a whole bunch of different rules for your own language and then presenting it to the world, that reflects very poorly on you. The next thing that I would like to talk about is the scoreline being flattering to them. That's ludicrous. The scoreline was not flattering to them. The scoreline, as a statistic, represents how many goals were scored and how many goals were conceded. That is it. The scoreline was not flattering to them, you were flattering to them. Another one was their play deserved a goal. Their play did not deserve a goal if a goal was not scored. If a goal was scored, their play deserved a goal. If a goal was not scored, their play did not deserve a goal. That's an end of it. You can't introduce some objective football morality to the way that you should play. This is something that actually does genuinely exist, especially in the English game, that you have to constantly be attacking, that you have to be positive, that you have to look forward, that you have to try and outplay the other team, which is absolute nonsense. You're not supposed to do that. That's not how the game works. All you have to do is to try to win, and if you try to win by playing pretty passing and being Brazil from 1970, all power to you. If you're trying to win by being Catenaccio Inter from the 60s, then that's entirely valid. All power to you. If you manage to win that way, fantastic. If you manage to win the Brazil way, fantastic. It's all up to you. Your entire goal as a footballer and as a football coach is only to win. Now, this brings me on to hitting the upright or hitting the frame of goal being unlucky. No, it isn't unlucky. It simply is not good enough. You tried, you took a shot, it was very, very close, but close doesn't count, and you missed. Your fault. Sorry. That's an end of it. This links quite closely to you just have to get the shot on target. Really, Mr. Pundit? That's very helpful information. You have to get the shot on target to score. You can't shoot 4 miles away and it'll be over. Of course you have to get the shot on target. You're supposed to be the people that are giving us extra knowledge. You are all seasoned pros who are giving us a whole bit of analysis that as regular lay people we will not be privy to. And then you give us a gem like that. Really, that's all you got to do. You got to get the shot on target. You don't have to try and ensure that you score. You miss the goalkeeper, you miss the other players defending, and all you got to do is get the shot on target. That is very good, very strong advice. It is completely, that was sarcasm. It is completely content-free to say you just have to get a shot on target. That is knowledge that everybody has. Nobody thinks that if you shoot the ball into the air, you score a goal. That is not a conception that any person has.